goodness. Let's go live together. Lucy, stay here. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Dear soul family, I've got Lucy on the line who let me know that I'm not live. I thought I was live for the last 10 minutes. And now I'm live. Thank you, Lucy. Love you. So I obviously was warming myself up during Mercury retrograde, talking away, and I saw the chat moving and I thought you were live with me. So as in typical Mercury retrograde fashion, let's do it again, Sam. So I'd like to welcome you all here today. A very, very warm welcome from Teddy and me and Lucy. Dear soul family, thank you for joining. These are exceptionally challenging times. You do need a Teddy more than ever, or whatever it is that soothes you, to be able to navigate and maneuver yourself through these times. I don't know about you, but I certainly feel super challenged right now, more challenged than ever before, with all kinds of survival issues. Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is to do with survival. It's to do with your basic needs. Your food, your shelter, your warmth. And Uranus is disrupting all this. Huge disruptions to these areas. And I wanted to have things really together before doing another live, which is why I've not done a live, I think, for over a week now, which is unusual because I always want to talk to you. I always love being online with you. But I've wanted to somehow get my act together before going online again. And every day I've said to myself, oh, I think I'm getting closer. And no, I find, maybe you've been finding this too with all this disruption going on, that you can be okay for a while and then suddenly everything erupts again. Everything's suddenly shaken up. So this last week has been particularly difficult because I've moved for the 4th time now in less than 4 months. And moving is disruptive anyway. But this move into this particular place, the energies have been very disturbed, very heavy, very difficult. And I feel as though I'm just fighting to keep my frequency afloat. The people here before, not to mention the fact that the entire place smelt initially of cat pee. Now it seems to be my area that has the worst of it. So I'm cleaning within an inch of my life. I've never whitewashed and cleaned walls and ceilings, and carpets have been cleaned twice now professionally, and it's still, there's something not right. So you may find that certain survival needs come up at this time. And so you're really finding me very raw at the moment. I feel raw. I feel as though, how can I say, this square coming up between Saturn and Uranus on the 17th of February. It's the first hit. It hits 2 more times this year. So Saturn is this energy of feeling as though you can't move. Yes, I've used vinegar, Laura, vinegar, bicarbonate of soda, coffee, you name it, we're doing it. And I've ordered sage, and it's a process. But what I'm noticing is that this energy, even more right now, because there's no fire in the heavens. There's a ton of air. So this is all the mental energy. Mentally. Yes, I know, Heather. Thank you, Heather. Only new carpeting solves the problem. You're absolutely right about that. But what to do in a rental place? And I feel very temporary. Wherever I go, I feel temporary. I'm renting a car, even renting a washing machine. Everything is rented. So to replace carpets in a house, which would cost thousands and thousands in a temporary place, I don't think is something to do here. My senses are exaggerated. Maybe, Sandra, I don't know. I've got very sensitive sense. Yep, smudges, anointing. But thank you. I appreciate the support with it. Yes, Ellie Mo, yes. So there's not much fire going on. Really, not until about the second or third week in March, and when we come into Aries energy. So what this means to me is that the fire energy is simmering. Anger issues. I call this, we need to talk. Maybe you need to get something out. I needed to write out, and it helped a great deal, how I felt about this agent, who I feel dropped us in a cat pee stinking place, and was dishonest about how clean it was. And I wrote it all out. I got it all out on paper. And I felt a lot better. I have to say, it was the first night I slept, was after getting that out on paper. Yes, salt in every corner of the room, bicarbonate and soda everywhere. Thank you for these suggestions. So I would be asking, what is simmering inside of you? What is smoldering in there? What might be seething in there? What is going on? What is inflamed? Where is the inflammation? And I'll be honest, I feel pretty angry. I can't pretend that I don't feel angry. And yes, in the moment here right now, the trouble is with every breath I take, I want to kill somebody. So you're seeing me really raw. And there's a lot of injustices right now. There's a lot of things going on about how we're treating one another, because this is ultimately what this is about. How are we treating one another? Are we treating one another kindly? Or are we treating one another dishonestly? And the dishonesty is everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, I was just reading today, I follow the wonderful Egon von Greyerz, who is a wonderful analyst in the markets, but he showed a great graph today in his newsletter, showing that the market value of the world's equities, that's the world's stock markets, has risen above the dollar value of the entire world economy. So the value of the stock markets, I think I have to say it again. So all the stock markets are valued higher than the entire world economy. So something is stinking in the land of Denmark. Something is wrong, toxically wrong, that the stock markets can be so high, higher than the value of the goods and services and our whole economy. Whoa! How can that be? So there has to be the rising of the injustice, the rising of that primal anger, that primal energy. And because there's very little fire, the fire energy, 14th to 16th of February. I've given you these dates. I'm repeating it because these are the dates. Maybe I'm not repeating because I did a 10 minutes without you at the beginning as a rehearsal for a Mercury retrograde. But sorry if it's a repeat, but 14th to 16th of February, 24th to 26th of February, 4th to 6th of March, roughly, are the only dates that we've got a lot of fire energy when it comes into the open and can come out. But right now, things are seething. Look at Myanmar. Look at India. Look at all these places where things are going so fast under the surface. And we're not almost getting a chance to catch up with the speed with which things are being introduced. And somebody made a really funny quote here, which comes to mind in lovely Summer Bacon, her newsletter, a little quote saying, "I'm missing the good old days when all we did was talk about the weather." Yeah, it used to be you'd just talk, oh, yes, it's cold today or it's this today. But now it's like, hey, you know, AstraZeneca are putting the vaccine on hold in South Africa because it's not proving very effective against COVID, against the new strains. Yeah, it's much more serious now. So what's really interesting at this time is that the last time we had a similar energy to the new moon in Aquarius coming up in 2-3 days' time was in February of 1962, when there were 7 planets in Aquarius, not just 6, but 7. But now there are 6. And it was the hippie era beginning. It was all about peace and love and let's live on communes together and let's do things together. So this has to be somewhere the overall message that we're working with, that we do want to come together, but boy, there's a lot of shit to get out of the way, excuse my language, in order to be able to do that. And I'm going to suggest that whatever you can do to help your fire energy out, your passion, what feels unjust, what doesn't feel right, where must you stand up? Yes, where must you stand up for what is right? Because there is fake energy everywhere. I mean, it's great that David disrupted Goliath's power on the stock markets with GameStop recently, where it went from $19 to $350. Yes, with the people power. There are lots of fake gold and silver coins right now coming out of China. So be careful if you're buying gold and silver. Make sure I would suggest if you're going to buy from a provider that you don't know, buy a very small amount, get it checked out, see if it's really true, and then get yourself some more. So just be careful because there is so much, should we say, fake energy out there, so much false information out there. And Aquarius, above all, is seeking for the truth. What's true? And you may have adverse conditions that you're working with. I know I'm working with adverse conditions right now, but I'm determined not to be beaten. I will not be a victim. I will not sit back and allow somebody who has done something that is not okay to get away with it. And I think we have to call our leaders to task, whatever it is that you feel strongly about. Don't sit on it because it's not healthy. Whew. an opportunity with this Aquarian energy to step outside what we know. In 1962, it was the time when the US placed an astronaut into orbit for the first time ever. John Glenn was sent from Cape Canaveral on the third Project Mercury in the space capsule, interestingly named Friendship 7, Friendship, Aquarius rules friendships. Thank you, Leah, I appreciate that. Friendships, friends are phoning. I have to tell them I'm live. Hi, Germany calling. Hi, Annette. Hi, Angelica. I'm live. I'm just talking of dear friendships. We're on live. We're live on YouTube. So I'll call you back, loves. Okay. Love you. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye. Mercury retrograde. There are going to be all kinds of interesting communications going on. We must connect together. This is a wonderful soul family that we have here. Everywhere, everywhere. So I must clear something up because this is important. I am not endorsing the World Economic Forum. Many of you made comments last time about their policies, because I spoke about that by 2030, they are saying you will own nothing and you will be happy, okay? I'm not endorsing anything. I am suggesting that ownership, because of Uranus in Taurus, is going to change. Our perception of what we own and what is private and what is not private is going to change. I just had a shock 5 minutes before going live, actually, which was the agent, this agent who gave us this cat pee house, just sent a message saying that she's sending a worker over because there's quite a few things that are not working, but to her credit, she's sending a worker over to get these lights fixed. And he's coming today between 12 and 3. Thank you, MMR. And she has given him the master swipe to the door in case we are not there. She, without asking us, I mean, I'm mad as hell. I'm really mad about that. Without asking us, just a fait accompli has given him permission to enter our home, a worker who we do not know, and do whatever work he needs to do or wants to do. Well, for me, that is super not okay. Not. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. So you may be faced with a series of injustices. Now, it might be that you are seeing injustices in the world, things that you want to work with, get involved with on a team, a group of other people. And it may be injustices in your life that you need to speak up about. We need to talk. That's why I call this, we need to talk. Who do you need to talk to? How do you need to talk? And it doesn't mean to say that you can't talk rationally and reasonably to somebody, but it does need to come out. Does need to come out. I don't know if it's a criminal offense. I'm going to find out, William. I don't know. So I think we are going to see more blows, financial blows, different blows. This bloody COVID is mutating. So it's another blow. They're planning to vaccinate the entire New Zealand population. So there are certain things that we're not going to be able to get out of. And we're going to have to maybe choose our battles carefully. Choose things carefully. What is really important that you must put your energy into at this time? Thank you, Kathy. And for me, really important are these live streams. So no matter what discomfort is going on around me, I can still connect and speak with you. And I'm so grateful for you, Lucy. Lucy, you've been so supportive through this time. And my webinars. The webinars, of course, I made commitments to so many of you to do this series of webinars, which are going so well and I'm so enjoying. And those I'm going to do come what may, no matter where I am or what the surroundings are like. I'm keeping doing them to the best of my ability. So in February 1962, thank you, Michelle, I appreciate that. JFK was president at that time. He wanted to help the poor. He wanted to reduce inequalities. We're going to see many more inequalities coming up, the stark inequalities. So what I'm seeing at this time is that there's been a big shift from a president, Trump, who is predominantly an air and fire sign. So you certainly see it all coming out. And we are now, thank you, Diane, I appreciate that. We are now with a president of the United States, Joe Biden, with a very watery and earthy character, very watery, ton of Scorpio. So very different frequency now is operating in terms of how things are being managed. Okay, water is beneath the surface. Water is underneath. Water can be very nourishing, feeds what's going on, but what is it feeding? So it's just a different energy field, and to be aware of it, to be aware of it. Also, I'm reminded, because, you know, I feel a bit frightened about some of the confrontations that I may need to have. Must confess, Libra likes everything nicey, nicey. So I'm reminded, a friend was telling me that she's got a big Labrador. And when it was little, they had a gate, a little gate put up so that it couldn't go beyond here and there. But now this gate is tiny for this Labrador. You know, he can just literally walk over it with 1 foot. And now, because that gate was there when he was little, he barks like hell. He's frightened to death to literally walk over that little gate. Frightened to death, and it's a tiny gate, and he's big as anything, and he doesn't realize he's big. Thank you, Sareva. So where are you big and you don't realize you're big? And I'm saying this to myself here, yeah? Who am I making so much bigger and making them so much more powerful than I am? And not really seeing that it's a little gate. It's a tiny little gate, and I'm making such a fuss. I'm cowering in a corner. Yes, oh dear, oh, I've got to be careful. Instead of just coming out and speaking out. And it's so much easier, you know, because when we really begin to speak out for what's important, you become authentic. Yes, it's authentic, it's real. Yeah. So fire spreads quickly, and things are spreading quickly right now because there's no fire in the heavens at the moment. Just watch what's spreading quickly around you that you've not been aware of. What's suddenly happening? What's suddenly going? Thank you, Lucy. She's so encouraging you to like the video. Would you please like the video? I'd appreciate that. The more of us that like it together, the more of our soul family joins, the more we can uplift one another through what are very, very challenging times. So I'm super grateful to all of you. I'm super grateful that we can find ways through this together. Together we can do it. And each one of us, because of this Aquarian energy, has to come out in this quirky, crazy energy. Let it out. Let your quirkiness out. And I don't want the confrontations, and I don't like it. But, you know, sometimes, as Eckhart Tolle says, on the peaceful lake, suddenly two swans, they have a bit of an altercation. Yeah, the wings are going and they're having a flap. Well, my wings are flapping at the moment, all right? There's a lot of flapping going. And I'm very peace-loving. But sometimes you've got to go for it. Shauna, thank you. You stood your ground and spoke up for yourself. Yes. Let's not sit on our passion, because if you're sitting on the things that are rankling inside of you, that are turning bitter inside of you, you're going to make yourself unwell. So don't allow things to rankle inside. Get them out somehow. For me, I go walking in nature and I'll have a good shout. Or whatever it is that gets it out. Yeah? Because this square energy, we're going to see a polarization of opinions, of views. There are going to be clashes. So the clash is okay. Let's accept a good clash of those symbols. Yeah, it's really, it's very much the percussion instruments. If I had a drum, I'd love a good drum at the moment. So I might put on a bit of drumming. Yeah, that would be good. Whatever it is that lets that primal energy up and out, because it's your life force. And not everything is all lovely and sweetness and light all the time. And sometimes there's a benefit of contrast to show you how much you can appreciate the sweetness and light when you get it. And you can also even enjoy some of the controversy when you're in it as well. So give yourself permission not to feel all lovey-dovey from time to time. I'm doing that. And it feels a whole lot better and a whole lot healthier. And do remember that people with very little fire in their charts don't have very good digestion, right? Because you need fire in the body to digest food and to digest things. So in order to digest life, you need some fire. So what's firing you up? And fire yourself. Get yourself fired on all cylinders. You know what it's like when you've got lamps in a room and some of the bulbs don't work. Well, get your bulbs working is what I'm saying. Turn your bulbs on, turn your lights on, full beam. And please know, I'm speaking this way as well as this way. This is us in this together. So I just want to thank you all for coming online with me today, for Lucy being available at short notice. It's good job Lucy's a triple fire sign, because she does move quickly. Marvelous. I'm so lucky for that. So because we don't have much fire between now and the middle of March, make sure you ignite the fire in you, and then you'll ignite the people around you. You'll ignite them. Yeah, you know how good it is when you see somebody who's got a bit of a flush. Yes, a bit of a blush going on. Wow. Get some blusher going, but get it going naturally. You don't need the makeup. Ha! So I'm sending you love, more love, all the way from Albany Heights in New Zealand. And I look forward to hearing what kind of passions you are now releasing. I love you. Bye for now.